Ever wondered, are we living our life with our choices or on our free will? Most of us did, right? However, Gündüz Vassaf interpreted life in such a way that probably most people could not think this way. In his book, Prisons of Ourselves, Totalitarianism in Everyday Life, Gündüz Vassaf's main goal is to open people's minds to oppressive thoughts that they are exposed and internalize with no question. And he helped people to delve into the meaning of life, also how and why they imprison themselves. First, he began to write about how the forces of daytime oppress and the freedom night gives us. In the daytime, people are the prisoners of authority and their daily activities. In fact, they become so used to these circumstances that they call it routine. However, at night people find their true selves and live their life based on their choices. If it really could be called their own choices. Later, Vassaf fleshes out the freedom of choice with these similes. This acceptance of daytime oppression resembles Big Brother is watching you phrase, which takes place in George Orwell's novel called 1984. This phrase symbolizes dictatorial government, which maintains its citizens with fear, supreme power, expects them to follow the rules no matter what, and invades their freedom. Those who are used to the system can be associated with daytime robots that Gündüz Vassaf mentioned. If you are one of those who dares utter contrary to expectations, it's likely to be marked as a traitor or mad. While Vassaf was working in a mental hospital, he had witnessed tortures and realized that psychiatry and class inequality were playing a role in totalitarianism. They labeled every unpredictable and pure human as insane and portrayed this situation something quite normal, such as common cold. Mega machines' efforts to widen the collective madness destroys the variation, and as humans become more and more standardized, they become a more plaything of totalitarianism. We are forced to choose a side, and said we are free to choose what we want, but we are not free, because given options are determined by someone other than us. Whether it is the system or the Big Brother, people are only given the so-called freedom of choice. For the ones who don't belong to a group, an image of an hero has always been a need for totalitarianism to limit and manipulate people. But the real danger those who destroy the individualism and uniformize the creativity. While reading the book, readers understand that totalitarianism is involved and restricted people from the day of birth. Although the majority of restricted are women, the number of men is not to be underestimated. This is why advocating women's liberation is only ethnocentric and sexocentric view. In patriarchal societies, men are always considered superior to women, and they are given unlimited power. Thus, there are many unintended consequences, and femicide is one of them. As families continue to raise their children in a mindset that separates them with such sharp boundaries, children will have more problem for themselves while trying to fit that image or adjusting to double standards their parents created. On the contrary, if they disagree to these norms, they will be presented as if they disregard the value of a family. The problem is not because we are the way we are or to think the way we think. It comes from trying to become like that, which we are not. As Vassaf suggested in several chapters, people are now deviating from the purpose of life with the ever-changing order. Overflow of information, feeling the need to express every emotion with words, keeping mind and reason superior to emotions, and in many others. We become the prisoners of speech. We want to be powerful and controller, but in possessing and controlling, we become more totalitarian. There are lots of topics should be discussed about totalitarianism. In his book, Gündüz Vassaf enables his readers to have a full understanding of what is totalitarian and what is not. His thesis sounds quite straightforward. Even though humans consider themselves as free, they are being exploited. The environment we live in or the culture we are born into may affect us, but we should not let them to take control of everything. The more we adjust, the more totalitarian we become.